Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Black Talk. I'm your host, VJR Stewart. And tonight we're going to be talking about how to get healthy. If you're sick, if you're unhealthy, you have some medical issues, let's talk about it. Let's see if we can put a strategy together to put you and myself. I'm going through this journey also, so it's not just me preaching, telling you to get healthy and I'm sick. So I'm still trying to recover myself from years of damaging my body. I think I'm on the right track. In fact, I know I'm on the right track because my health markers are getting better. So what we're not going to talk about tonight are those Somalians in Minnesota. I promise you that we were going to leave that alone, take a break, so we are. So anyway, let's talk about health. First of all, I want to mention that my wife is in the process of, with her partners, setting up a practice to deal with lifestyle coaching to help people live longer. Basically to help you get on a path to better health. Better health means more years added to your life. A better quality of life and more years added to your life. So don't wait until you're so sick that you can't recover from it. So this is the time to start. And once they get the practice up and running, I will provide their information on how to reach out to them. It'll be a great resource for anyone out there who's unhealthy. You've tried to get healthy, you're stuck on medicines, and you want to heal your body. I can tell you right now from my personal example that the medicines don't cure you. They don't heal you. They just help you find a way to live with whatever the illness is. Underlying issue, if you have diabetes, like me, heart problems. I have congestive heart failure. I have calcification in my arteries, high blood pressure. So you name it. Yeah, there's some. I had fatty liver. A abdominal scan last June, I believe. Yeah, I had fat around the liver, around the heart, around the colon, the kidneys, and basically I was living good, decent for a while I worked at home. Then I started working outside the house. I started driving to Fort Worth, nice little drive for me to work. I'm picking up stuff along the way, eating fast food, back to eating junk stuff. And it didn't take long, about a year and a half. And before you know it, man, I had to be hospitalized. I had a stroke, a heart attack, a mini stroke, mini heart attack. My EF value, which is the measurement of your heart's ability to squeeze, your heart pumps. Well, when it pumps, it pushes blood out, pushes it throughout your body. My EF value was 25. I think normally average is 55 to 60 is a good, anything above 55 is a really good number. So I think the average person who with a decent heart is 55 plus. Mine was at 25. It shows you just how sick I was. I mean, I'm really supposed to have a stroke or heart attack at that point and just die. So I'm hospitalized. This was last June. I had to go to the hospital because I passed out. And began to faint and fall, and I could have just hit my head or broke something and died at that point. So go to the hospital, and of course, they take all these body measurements, health marker measurements, and that's when they discovered that my heart was very weak, my body was weak, blood pressure high, 170 over 110, so very, very high, outrageous numbers. Just the heart attacks, the blood pressure alone is supposed to give you a heart attack. Heart working that hard to pump blood. A1C, 13.7. 13.7. Blood sugar just high. But the A1C, which measures the blood sugar for the last 3 months, 13.7, so very high. They took the scan of my body and MRI and the abdominal scan, a CT scan. Took the EKG, they measure your heart effectiveness. But anyway, they discovered that the arteries have calcification in them, which is mean you get calcium and plaque buildup, cholesterol. They get into the linings of your arteries and they keep your arteries from expanding. So basically, when your blood volume is up, sometimes your heart needs to push more blood throughout your body. And especially when you drink a lot of water, your blood volume goes up. Then the heart has to push, and your veins expand, the arteries expand for the extra volume to go through. Well, if you have calcification, which means calcium is built up in those arteries, and then they harden. So the arteries can't expand. They're stuck, And sometimes you get pimples inside the lining, and things get stuck, more cholesterol gets stuck on those pimples, and then you get a blockage. Before you know, you have a heart attack. So these are all the health conditions I'm dealing with. And I'm in the hospital. I'm eating hospital food, taking all the hospital medicines, and they put me on all the injections, everything. Blood pressure won't come down. Came down a little bit. Start, on 150 over 100, 110. Still high. Blood sugar is way too high. 140, 150, sometimes 170 and 80 deciliters. It's just high. And, despite the medicines, I'm worried that now I'm getting ready to have a heart attack or a stroke because my blood pressure won't come down. They probably be for the medicines, but, if they test my blood sugar before a meal and my glucose level goes up, then they want to pump me full of insulin afterwards, 2 units, 4 units, 6 units. Afterwards, in order to bring the sugar down, sugar in my blood down. Because if you don't do that, the sugar is very acidic in your blood. It attacks your organs, it attacks your veins, and it burns holes in your arteries, actually. So that's why the cholesterol, your body uses cholesterol to patch those holes up. And the thinking is that the LDL, the low-density cholesterol, they call it bad cholesterol, really it's actually a good cholesterol because it keeps you from dying. It patches the holes up from the sugar. And then once the sugar levels are in check and been reduced, the good cholesterol, the HDL, high-density cholesterol, is supposed to come away after the vein heals, the artery heals, and remove the LDL cholesterol. Well, that's how it's supposed to work in a healthy body. Excuse me. But if you just keep eating bad food over and over, keep flooding your body with sugar, your arteries never heal. There's never a healing period because you keep fueling the damage. And that's what I was doing. And one of the things that causes that is insulin. Where every time you eat, every time you put something in your mouth, except water, bubble gum, food, anything other than water. But what about flavored water, Jerry? Yeah, flavored water causes an insulin response also. Plain water does it. Every time you put something in your mouth, your pancreas releases insulin. And sometimes you can wear your pancreas out where it just gets to a point you just can't produce anymore or can't produce enough. In your cells in your body, your muscles, every time your pancreas releases insulin, that's a signal hormone to your muscles to take nutrients out of the blood. It's feeding time. It tells your storage cells, we call fat cells, hey, it's time to eat. There's sugar out there, nutrients out there. Go out there and suck them up, eat it. It tells all the organs in your body, hey, there's time to eat. It's like the dinner bell ringing, ring, 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 ring. Wakes everybody up, tells them it's time to eat. And then after that, if there's still sugar floating around in your blood that's too high, this causes a problem. If you can't reduce the sugar out of the meal, if you just keep eating and keep snacking, and before your body can fully process and deal with the sugar from your mealtime, you've already gotten a snack, you've already gotten a soda, you've got some juice, more sugar. You finish the night off with a slice of pie, a cake. Sugar before you go to bed, as you're going to bed. More sugar in your body. You wake up in the morning, you get that bagel, you put some cream cheese on it, you get a bowl of cereal, Frosted Flakes. Or you stop at Starbucks and get that coffee full of cream and sugar. Or you stop at Southern Made Donuts and get some donuts. Well, you stop at McDonald's and get what's the value meal? I'm trying to think. It's not the biscuit. It's the it's going to come to me. It's the pancake sandwich. I can't think of what they call it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Um, the McGriddle. Yeah, that's it. Maybe pancake dough. I think it's good. I used to stop and get a lot of them. One of my favorite breakfasts is at McDonald's. Or stop at Whataburger and get the cheddar cheese biscuit, sausage, eggs, hash browns, orange juice, wash it down with. Those are my two breakfasts of choice when I had to drive into town to go to work. After work, on the way home, I'd stop at Popeyes, get a couple of pieces of chicken, or Taco Bell, and get a couple of tacos, just as a snack to hold me over to dinner. On Fridays, I'd stop at my donut shop and I'd get a dozen donuts for my crew. I want to reward them, showing I'm a good supervisor, a good team lead, good technical manager. Yeah, I take the donut holes. For me, I wouldn't eat the donuts, but I take the donut holes. They always threw in donut holes because I ordered a dozen donuts. They just throw some in, so I would eat those, much on those. Sugar. Get to work. I go to lunch. Generally, most of the time, about half the time by myself, but the other half, I would go with somebody from my team. Just talk, chat, hang out, get to know each other. No good choices, so, I'm eating the fast food stuff that was around the hospital or around the job site. All I was really doing was poisoning my body like I've been doing for a long time. So my weight ballooned at one point up to 350 pounds. But I was tall. I was 6'4", so, I was chunky. I was chubby, but, I looked okay. But I wasn't a fat slob. But I was definitely chunky. And I tried every way to lose weight. Tried exercising, working out, walking. Wasn't quite getting it done. It was slow. It was a very slow, painful process. And I ran across something called the carnivore diet. I tried that Mediterranean diet. I tried some other stuff. Every time I be in the grocery store, you go to check out, they got Weight Watchers there. They got all these magazines there. And on the cover, it's how to lose 50 pounds in a month. I lose 100 pounds in 30 days. And, I'd read those and see what it was about. And I would try some of them. Didn't work. But while I was out surfing the YouTube, excuse me, I got hair in my eye. I ran across a girl called the Steak and Butter Girl. Thought the title was kind of interesting. She seemed kind of cute, so I was like, let me check this out, see what it's about. And I clicked on her video, and she was interviewing a doctor. His name is Dr. Ken Berry. Write that name down, because I highly suggest you go out to his channel and subscribe to his channel. A lot of great information. Not only him, but Dr. Tony Hampton, Dr. Boz. Those are the three that I follow religiously. But Dr. Berry was one who got me started. She's interviewing him, and he's talking about this carnivore diet and how you can reverse. Now, he's a doctor now, so I'm like, okay. And he's the first doctor that I heard make these statements. So I had to listen to him. I'm like, wait a minute. This is not what my doctor's been telling me. Here's a doctor who's saying you can reverse type 2 diabetes. My doctor never told me that. In fact, my doctor told me just the opposite. She said, once you're diabetic, you're always diabetic. Can't reverse this. My cardiologist. Oh, Joe, you got a bad heart. You can't fix that. It doesn't get any better. All you can do is slow the damage down. My vascular doctor. Oh yeah, you got calcification, you got bad veins, arteries, clogged up. They're not so clogged up that you got to do a bypass or go in and clean them out. But if you continue on this path, that's what you're facing. Well, what can I do to? Well, they put you in touch with a nutritionist who put you on a balanced meal. This is what I was on in the hospital. That balanced meal junk. It kept my insulin, kept my glucose numbers high. kept me dependent on insulin to process sugar out of my blood. I mean, this is a medical establishment. They scare you into staying on the medicines. So here's a doctor, Dr. Ken Berry, telling me that type 2 diabetes can be reversed. Vascular disease can be reversed. Inflammation. I had a rash in the back of my neck. I see a lot of black men with it when I go to the barber shop. You know, some black guys know what I'm talking about. It's a white rash. It grows right there in the crease of your skin, in the back of your neck. I see a lot of guys who have it. I had it since college. You know, the skin grows, it hardens up, you know, and it becomes painful to the touch. You know, you generally have to fight through and peel the skin off, the hard skin off. You know, I try to keep it moist, put, you know, lotions on it and creams, and that helped a little bit, keep it from drying out. But eventually it would still dry out anyway and start hurting. And so you start talking about autoimmune diseases, how these rashes and things that you get would start clearing up. Inflammation in your body would clear up. He says it's all about the foods that you eat. Then I seen this other doctor on, I can't think of his name. He's talking about the plants. He talked about the oxalates and lectins and other things, anti-nutrients in the plants that make it bad. You think you're eating healthy by eating a vegetarian type diet, but you're not. Very unhealthy. So Dr. Ken Berry started talking about this carnivore diet. So I'm listening now, because I'm curious now, because I'm sick. You know, like, well, okay. And he said you'll lose a bunch of weight. Well, that really got my attention. I can lose weight and get healthy? Cure my body? Okay, Doc, what's the secret? And the secret was you have to eat a lot of fat. You have to go back and eat the proper human diet. Eat the diet of your ancestors, the caveman diet. You have to eat oil meat, fat, proteins. No veggies, no bread, no rice, no pasta, no long string carbohydrates, what we call starches. No sugars, no sugary drinks, no candy, potato chips, no bread. You have to cut it all out, just meat. Eggs. The fattier the meat, the better. Bacon. In fact, he had something he called the BBBE. Bacon, beef, butter, and eggs. That's a hardcore carnivore diet. The regular carnivore diet kind of allows for a few carbs, 100 grams or less, slice or two of bread a day, maybe a vegetable, a fruit, piece of fruit a day. Nothing like grapes, nothing like sweet stuff. Maybe like an apple, some stuff with some fiber in it. Orange, if you eat the whole orange, I'll just drink the juice. A nectarine, plum. Even though the fructose in the fruit is not good for you, because your body can't digest it, so it sends to the liver. That's how you develop fatty liver. You eat too much fructose. And guess what? You know what the number one source of fructose is? Those soft drinks. Either high fructose corn syrup or just fructose syrup to sweeten it up, because it's cheaper than sugar. So they put it in everything, breads. And all the processed foods have some kind of fructose in it. So he had something called a 90-day challenge to clean your body out. So I decided to try it. I went from 350 to 275 during that 3-month period. Scout's honor, 75 pounds in 3 months. I mean, it truly was. The pounds started dropping off. I mean, they just started melting off every week. Started off just a couple of pounds here, a couple of pounds there, but they just started melting off. I started looking at 5, 6, 7 pounds a week. Fat was coming down, my face got slimmer, midsection. There was no strenuous exercising. It's just diet, nutrition. And so after the 90-day challenge, then the plan is that you're supposed to slowly introduce some healthy foods back in your life, some leafy vegetables, just to see what your body can tolerate. Because you have a bad reaction to something. If you eat something, you have a bad reaction to it, you're supposed to stop eating it. Your body is letting you know that this is no longer good for us. Can't eat it anymore, boss. And so that's what I was doing. I maintained primarily that carnivore diet, but I was sneaking a little stuff in. I like my potato chip. I love potatoes. All the little stuff I would kind of sneak in from here and there. And I kind of maintained it. It was cool. I maintained 275 for a nice little while. I wanted to get down to 250. So I thought about maybe, going back on another 90-day challenge. But, some of the medical advice that was given by the three doctors is that you really shouldn't do the hardcore carnivore diet. You should do more of a keto diet, where it's mostly carnivore and some carbs, some healthy carbs like fruit and vegetables, but mostly vegetables. And so I maintained around 275, 270, 275 until I'm a consultant and I generally worked from home for most of my career. And I got a contract and I had to go out of Fort Worth. Out by Alliance Airport. Nice little drive for me. 45 minutes to an hour. Each way. And I started eating out again. And before you know it, I slowly started getting sick. Then I got another contract in Fort Worth, out the hospital, downtown area. Actually, just south of downtown, Fort Worth. They have a lot of hospitals in that little area, south of downtown Fort Worth. For people who are familiar with the city, they know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention the hospital. It's not important. But driving there every day, another thing, over an hour drive each way. And within a year and a half, I got up to 285, 290. Some people say it's not too bad, a year and a half, 15 pounds, 20 pounds maybe, anywhere from 15 to 20 pounds. But I grew sick. I got sick. So sick that I had to be hospitalized. I fainted going up the stairs, but I just blacked out. I had a couple of those sessions. One time I was going to the bathroom. I remember getting up to go to the bathroom, and then I remember waking up because I was on the floor. I'm not sure how I got there. I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing on the floor? Why am I on the floor? What am I doing here? But that's what happens when you have a stroke, a little mini stroke, or heart attack. You just black out. So I knew at that time, it was time, hey, look, I got to go to the hospital. I got to go check myself in. My health markers at the time were all bad. Everything bad. So I'm in the hospital eating this hospital food. Glucose levels, not as bad as they were when I went in there, but they were still bad. Having to take insulin. Like, wait a minute, this is not the life I'm going to sign up for. Not the life I want. So one of the first big hurdle I had to deal with while I was in the hospital was the nutrition part. Because I wanted to go back on the carnivore diet. Because at least on the carnivore diet, I brought my weight down, I got my blood pressure down, I got my blood sugar. I think I got my blood sugar in check. I wasn't checking it then, but the blood pressure I was checking. The blood pressure had it fairly normal when I was on the carnivore diet and lost the weight. So I'm trying to convince my doctor, nutritionist. They brought a diabetic nutritionist specialist in to consult with me and tell me how bad this carnivore diet was for me. The doctors told me how bad it was. The cardiologist, the surgeon who worked on me, told me how bad the carnivore diet was for me. But my point is, look, I've been in here for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. I've been eating the food that you told me. I'm not sneaking off anywhere. Nobody bring me anything. Eating hospital food. And yet my glucose numbers are still off the chart. I'm still having to take insulin. So something's wrong here. As far as I'm concerned, my blood pressure is still high. I had one person, occupational therapist, she was a director of occupational therapists, who kind of sided with me. She was in a conference room I'm with the whole medical team, my whole team. Several doctors, the nutritionists, the nutrition specialists, therapists, the whole team, about 8 or 9 people. And she said, "Hey, just give it. Why don't we just give it a try? We could just closely monitor, which we do. They monitor around the clock. Taking blood, taking temperature, taking blood pressure readings, pricking your finger, doing blood tests constantly. I mean, you can't even sleep. You can't get but a couple hours sleep before they come, want to do a test on you, waking you up, to draw blood, to draw this, to urinate." She said, "Let's just give it a try and see. Let them try it." And basically, I think the thinking was just pacify him for now, because you don't need to stress him out. He has a bad heart. So, rather than go back and forth fighting with him over this, just pacify him. Show him it's not going to do anything. And once he fails at it, then we can go back with our routine. Except, they modified my diet. Bacon and eggs, sausage in the morning. I got a hamburger patty with some hamburger sides, for lunch. Then whatever the standard meal was for dinner. But no starches. They put mixed vegetables in. But potatoes, they would leave off the bread. They would leave off. They would send me salad dressing every day. No salad. Just a dressing. I don't know what that was about. I would tell them, you're just wasting food here. I don't know what this dressing is about. Oh, you're not supposed to have a salad on your diet plan. It's like, I know that. I didn't order a salad, but you send me the dressing, but there's no salad. If you're going to send me the dressing, at least send the salad along with it. But anyway, after about 2 weeks, the blood pressure on my carnivore diet, it wasn't just the carnivore diet. I also implemented the OMAD. OMAD stands for 1 meal a day. 1 meal a day, OMAD, OMAD. So I would take my eggs and my breakfast meat from breakfast. I put in a container that my wife brought to me. I take my hamburger patty for lunch. It was a nice thick hamburger patty, so it was, it's very satisfied. And then when dinner came, I'd go and I'd microwave the meat I had stored in the refrigerator, and I'd combine that with whatever meat I had for dinner. That's what I ate for every day. After about 2 weeks, I started losing weight again. My weight started coming down. And the blood pressure came down to safe numbers. The glucose numbers came down. I didn't have to, I stopped taking the insulin anyway, but the glucose numbers came down where I didn't need insulin anymore. And you would think that my medical team would be like, "Oh, okay, that's great, man. They did say it's great. It's good," but they didn't attribute to the carnivore diet or the OMAD. Well, they still spoke out against it, but I figure, hey, maybe it's working. I guess it's working. Maybe it's the medicine. Sometimes medicine is just take a little while to kick in. But I already knew it wasn't the medicine. I've been on the medicine for years. I've been dealing with these health markers for years. Anyway, I come home, and I kind of stick with my carnivore diet, and I didn't do the OMAD every day, about 2 or 3 days a week. 'Cause you can't do OMAD like every day. You can, but you shouldn't unless you get serious with it. You can't ever cheat. You can't mix it up a little bit. You can't have cheat days and do OMAD every day. And let me tell you why. Because your body becomes very sensitive to carbs at that point, and sugar. You're training your body to become fat adaptive, to burn fat instead of sugar. And once you wean your body off of sugar, carbohydrates, starches, which are just long chain carbohydrates, long chains of sugar. It's all the same, whether it's sugar, carbohydrates, fructose, or starches. In fact, the starches are the worst. Because they put starches in all your foods, but they don't tell you it's a sugar. But that's what a starch is, a long chain carbohydrate. It's just a long chain of sugar. But once it's in your body, it all breaks down to sugar, to glucose. And so when you're on a carnivore diet and you're doing OMAD, your body becomes very sensitive to it. So if you cut it out, you have to cut it out. You can't have a cheat. You can't have a snack every now and then because you'll make yourself sick. And you'll ruin the effect. When your body's going to burn, either fat is going to burn sugar. If you mostly burn fat and every now and then burn some sugar, okay, your body adapts to that. Fine. If that's the program we're going to live under, then fine. And that's your maintenance program. That when you get to the weight that you want, you got to get your health markers in check. Then you go to more of a keto strategy, which is carnivore plus some fruit and vegetables. And an occasional snack, but you don't overdo it. You don't binge on ice cream all week long. You don't do anything like that. But if you have an ice cream bar, it's no big deal. It's just a treat every now and then. That's the maintenance program. So that's what you get your body adapted to. But if you're doing strictly carnivore and strictly OMAD, then you got to stick with it. And it's hard to stick with it, really. Long term. You can do it for a few months. Cut it out. But as soon as you go back and you cheat one day or binge have a bunch of carbs, then bam. That fat, your body has become fat adapted, all of a sudden that's lost. Because the bacteria in your gut lining and your gut biome, those cultures that digest sugar are the most prevalent. They're the 800-pound gorilla in your stomach, in your gut biome. Sugar. Those bacteria that process sugar. That's the king of the hill. They're the ones that boss all the other digestive enzymes around. And when you get them in check to the point where you put them to sleep, where they're no longer giving you all these body cravings and you're craving sugar or something sweet, when you get to that point, then you can go down ice cream now without shaking, pass up the candy, cakes, cookies, all the sweet stuff, the sodas. Well, it doesn't bother you anymore. No more cravings. You can deal with it. You undo all of that as soon as you eat that candy bar. As soon as you drink that soda. And now you're back to, they all wake up, and they wake up, with some vengeance. Yeah, they all wake up. And you start getting the cravings again, because they're hungry. They want to eat. You need protein and fats. Man, we need some sugar down here. You evidently didn't want us to go to sleep and go away because you ate that Snicker bars and woke us up. You ate that cake, that pie, and woke us up. So you must want us to be active in your life again. And then the cravings come. So do the challenge. I highly recommend you do the challenge. They call it the reset. Dr. Barry calls it the reset. Do the carnivore diet for 90 days. And basically, you don't eat 3 meals a day, so you skip breakfast, you eat 2 meals a day. You start at lunch, and then you eat another meal before 6. And that's it. You wrap it up. No more. After 6 o'clock, you shut it down. No more food. Not even some protein or fat. Your snacks consist of some nuts. Not peanuts, because they have too much processed oil in them. Walnut. Almond, because they have fats in them. And you can have some avocado with your meal. Otherwise, everything else is protein and fat. No leafy vegetables, no fruit, no apples, no oranges, no juice, no sodas, no diet sodas, just water to drink. And salt. You need plenty of salt. It also helps if you take a magnesium and potassium supplement because at some point your body's going to flush your kidneys of fluids and salts when you're on a carnivore diet. And just flush it out, clean it out, part of your reset. And you need the electrolytes in your body for good health. It's going to flush all of that. All the electrolytes in the water is going to get flushed out of your body. And you can drink more water to replace the water. So the salt will help you with the electrolytes. But if you take a magnesium and potassium supplement, that helps also. So I told you the last show that this show, I was going to do the big reveal for my A1C because I went and had my labs done, had it tested. So last year, going to the hospital, very sick, 13.7. Terrible A1C number. While in the hospital, it came down to 10, came down to 8.5. When I left the hospital, 6.5, 3 months after I left the hospital, 4 months after I left the hospital. And so as of a week or so ago, we're now down to 5.8. I was hoping to be below the 5.6, but okay, I'm still pre-diabetic. I think pre-diabetic starts at 5.7 to 6.5. So I was hoping to be below the 5.6 number and just get out of that whole diabetic range altogether. But the path that I'm on, I should be under 5.6 by June, definitely by June. And I'll take the next one in about 3 months, 3 or 4 months. I'll take another one. So we're looking at March, April, May, probably late May, June, somewhere around that time frames. Early summer, midsummer, I'll get another one done. So June will be 1 year, and I'll definitely be under the 5.6 at that point. And so what that means is that within a year, I've gone from being very diabetic, type 2 diabetic at 13.7 to having it reversed in a year. And I'm not saying that because I'm special or you think I've done something great. I'm just trying to live and extend my life. But if I can do it, I'm telling you that you can do it. I don't do any strenuous exercise. I mean, I work. I have some weights. But I'm not like running marathons. I'm not working up big sweats and exhausting myself. Hours and hours of cardio. Just taking control of eating a little better. Eating more protein and fats. A lot less carbs. Recently, I had to make the decision, very tough decision, to give up potatoes. I'm telling you, I'm a meat and potato guy. Always been, all my life. Meat and potatoes or meat and rice next. But really a meat and potato guy. I love potatoes. I don't care how you cook them. Pan, smother them in the oven, pan cook them, bake them, fry them, deep fry them, stuff them with cheese and other meats. It doesn't matter. I love potatoes. So a couple of months ago, I asked my wife to give me a small bag of those little small new potatoes, I think they're called, or basically just a fish-sized little potato, real small. And I get a bag, and I'm cooking them very different ways. And every time I'm eating the potatoes, I'm getting, a little queasy. Something getting a little upset, not quite feeling right. Not sure if it's potatoes or maybe it's just something else. And so I go through the bag, and I don't feel the best now. I'm feeling a little funny. So I wait about a month, and I asked the wife to pick up another bag. I need to see if it's really the potatoes or if it was something else. And so for that week, I ate me 2 or 3 of those little small potatoes every day till they were gone. And at that time it hit me full force. I mean, it really did a job on me. I spent 3 days just nonstop going to the bathroom. Not the good going to the bathroom either. Now, maybe a little TMI, too much information, but at that point I knew for certain that my body was rejecting the potatoes. I've eaten potatoes all my life. Didn't realize that I was probably damaging my body from eating potatoes. Gotta go, like Robin Harris says. So no more potatoes for me. At least not in that quantity. I mean, but we don't buy, we just don't buy potatoes anymore. My wife's not a big potato person. And so there are a lot of things we just don't buy anymore. For the most part, potato chips, don't buy them anymore. A lot of snack foods, cake and pies. I always keep a pie or cake here, just to nibble on every now and then. You want something sweet, hey, there's a pie there or a cake there. Get your slice. We used to buy large quantities of sodas. My wife's a big Coke drinker. At least she was. She gave them up. She's a big potato chip person. I was, so I like Ruffles. She likes plain. So we just stopped buying them. Stop buying the sodas, buy anything, buy carbonated water, unsweetened. I drink plain water. We eat a lot of protein in this house, a lot of fat. So we go through about 20 pounds of Italian sausage each month. The links. They grind them fresh at the store. Just absolutely love them. We go through anywhere about 10 pounds of Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage, hot. My wife likes the maple and the sage, but she doesn't eat that much sausage, so I mainly eat it. I like the hot. We go through 10 pounds of bacon a month easily, 10 to 15 pounds. We smoke a big meat item. It could be brisket, pork shoulder, ham, or multiple slabs, 3-4 slabs of spare ribs. That's our one meat item, big meat item each month. And the rest of the month we do fish, we do the Italian sausage, we do Italian meatballs. We go through 5 dozen eggs a month easily. I eat 2-4 eggs every day. We boil them, I scramble them, put mushrooms in them, cheese. My wife, she likes the beef hot dogs, so she eats those. She likes the cheddar hot dogs. Sometimes she'll get the jalapeno ones. I had to turn her on to that. She thought they were too hot for her, but until she ate one and decided she liked them. So my point is that we don't buy a lot of bread. My wife gets some buns for our hot dogs, or some hamburger buns. She can make a sandwich with. But we're mostly meat eaters in this house. A lot of protein, a lot of fat. We don't do chicken. We do little chicken. Chicken legs every now and then. Chicken thighs. We bought some chicken thighs here recently. We're going to have for Sunday dinner. When we get the thighs. I love chicken. I love the breast. I love white meat, actually. I'm a wing and breast person. But the breasts are just too lean. So these folks try to eat the skinless, boneless, chicken breast. It's way too lean. There's not enough fat in it. You need to incorporate fat into your diet for the satiation. It fills you up. It takes a long time for your body to digest, so it provides energy for your body long term. It's not like a carbohydrate or a sugar that burns off quickly. And your body, then you crash, and then your body wants more. So that's our extreme, diet in this household. That's just how we eat. And like I said, we don't do a bunch of, my wife's in the health business, but we don't do a lot of strenuous exercise, and we don't run marathons. We're not those people biking 50 miles a week or walking 10,000 steps a day. Well, my wife may do it, but I don't. But nutrition has kind of helped keep my blood pressure in check. My blood pressure now, maybe too low. When I see my doctor at the end of the month, she's going to make an evaluation. My blood pressure now averages around 100/75. That's how far it's come down from where it was just last year. It's slowly been coming down. It came down to safe range. It was 120/80, 120/75 for the longest time. But here in the last month, it's going down even further. Start getting down to 110/75, 110/70. And for the last 10 days, it's been right at 100/75. That's where it was today. 100, 101/75. That's where it's been for the last 10 days. My doctor wants me to call or to contact my care team if it ever dropped below 100. Well, we're right at that threshold now. What am I going to do? Go out and get a Big Mac? Get some fries? The point I'm trying to tell you is that my care team, full of doctors and specialists, told me that my type 2 diabetes couldn't be reversed. Absolutely cannot be reversed. It can be reversed. Dr. Barry was the first doctor that dared come out and say that it can be reversed. Went against the medical advice, industry standard, In jail, if you do that, you get ready to lose your medical license. Because the last thing the medical industry wants is for you to not take their advice. When they tell you got to stay on the medicine and pills and injections for the rest of your life, they mean it. It's business for them. Big Pharma, who donates to the American Medical Association, AMA, the American Heart Association, the American Diabetes Association, American Kidney Association, all these associations that provide the health standards for the medical industry, are all funded by Big Pharma, Big Food, Big Tobacco. You say, well, no, JL, wait a minute, why would big tobacco fund these things? Because the big tobacco companies got smart and they bought the food companies. Nabisco got bought up by RJR. Every cigarette company, all the big ones, all own food companies now, in addition to cigarettes. And then the food companies and the cigarette companies heavily invest in the pharmaceutical companies. So not only do they fill your lungs full of tar and other nicotine and other dangerous chemicals, but then they poison you with the food, and then when you get sick, they turn around and give you the medicine to keep you alive. Not heal you, not cure your illness. Nobody's talking about curing diabetes. Nobody's talking about reversing diabetes. There's not one commercial out there. But all the diabetes medicines out there, they advertise. All the injections. Not one of them say they're going to reverse diabetes. No. They're going to bring your diabetes down and help you live with it. Don't want to reverse the condition. You reverse the condition, you stop buying the medicine. Yeah, I heard Chris Rock, he made a joke about this. He said, the last disease we cured was polio. But then they made a mistake because once they cured polio, nobody has polio anymore. You can't sell a polio vaccine anymore. You go broke trying to be a polio distributor. So they just got smart. They stop curing. They just help you live with it. They don't cure AIDS. They help you live with AIDS. They don't cure diabetes. They help you live with diabetes. Heart disease, vascular disease. These help you live with it. That's what the medicine is. Just keep you alive long enough to keep you buying the medicine until you die. All these medicines have side effects. I listen to those commercials. They start off with, may cause seizure, may cause uncontrolled bowel movements, stroke, death, heart attack. Wait a minute, for a toe fungus? I got all these damn side effects of a medicine for a toe fungus? All the medicines have side effects. All the medicines slowly kill you. One of the the number one selling medicine out there is metformin. I used to take metformin. I used to take insulin. Stopped. Wait a minute, I'm not going to be stuck on this for the rest of my life. Metformin acts like a rat poison. If it gets into your cells, and it keeps your cells from absorbing oxygen. And they need oxygen in order to burn the fuel. Your mitochondria needs it to burn fuel. That's sugar, the glucose. When that process gets damaged, that cell gets damaged, your mitochondria gets damaged, that's where tumors and cancer comes from. That's a starting point. Your body normally recirculates those bad cells. When they get damaged like that, your body is supposed to kill them, destroy them, and produce new ones. But if they hang on for dear life, they don't want to go away. Sometimes they call zombie cells. But they can easily grow and morph into a tumor, or even worse, into cancer. And then they spread throughout the body. They're not just happy living, they want to multiply. Like baby kids. What do we all out here say? We don't die, we multiply. That's what cancer does. One of the best ways to help prevent cancer is through autophagy. I remember many years ago, I read about two places. This center the doctor down in Africa, and the Russians had a fasting center. Both of these centers claim that they can get rid of AIDS. This is back when AIDS was really popular, was rampant. They said they can cure AIDS through fasting, a 30 or 40-day fast. They can cure AIDS. The African doctor said he can cure cancer through fasting. Everybody laughed at the research, said, no, it can't be positive. No, we spent billions of dollars on cancer research. It was that easy to get rid of cancer Don't you think we would have just had everybody go on a fast and be done with it? Now we're starting to find out that there's something called autophagy, where your body basically means eat yourself. And autophagy happens when you're on a fast. So that's the benefit of OMAD, 1 meal a day. You eat one meal, let's say at 6 o'clock. Then you wait 23 hours before you eat again. Between hour 16 and hour 23, your body's going through what's called autophagy. It releases human growth hormone to protect your muscles. So it's a good time to work out, do some weights, light training. And you'll be surprised at how the human growth hormone flowing through your body with a little exercise will build your muscles up. But your body also goes through fat burning mode and goes through autophagy, where it just kills off all those old cells. Those damaged cells, the damaged mitochondria, starts killing them off. One of two things is going to happen. It either repairs it, or if it can't be repaired, it kills it. And then your body produces new cells to replace them, especially your white blood cells, which provide the defense for your body. Those are protectors. So that's the benefit of the OMAD diet. Or you get some of that benefit also from intermittent fasting. And all that means is that that's 2 meals a day. You start at around noon, and then you eat your next meal 3-4 hours later, and then you try to close the window up. So maybe you eat at 2 o'clock and eat again at 4 o'clock. You try to get from the last meal to your next meal as much longest period as you can in there. But everything has to be done between 12 and 6, that 6-hour window. So that's pretty much intermittent fasting. And OMAD is just that one meal, you go 23 hours, a 23-hour fast, where you really get the most benefit. I met my cardiologist about a month or so ago, and I asked him to do another abdominal scan to check my calcification level, because I've been noticing from my blood test, my calcium number's been coming down. When I went to the hospital last year, my calcium number's at over 550. That's bad. And calcium and plaque builds up in your arteries and your veins, and they harden. They keep the arteries from expanding. So when you have higher blood volume, your heart's trying to push through the tooth, through your arteries, and if your arteries can't expand, that means your heart has to work even harder to push. It's just working really hard. That's where high blood pressure comes from. Other thing that hardens your arteries is insulin. So all this snacking and eating that you're doing, and every time you eat something, your body produces insulin. And insulin is helping harden your arteries. And the reason being because when you have high sugar flow through your body wants to reduce the blood flow, because the sugar in your blood is causing your arteries to burn holes in your arteries, and you bleed out and die. So that's where the LDL cholesterol comes in to patch the holes up in your arteries. But if you continue to snack and eat and produce too much insulin, what they call hyperinsulinization, if you produce too much insulin, constantly eating all the damn time, then that insulin just builds up in your body. Sugar builds up in your body. Blood pressure goes up. Your heart has to work harder. Before you know it, you're working your heart too hard. You get heart disease. You get vascular disease because your veins are now hard with calcium and cholesterol. It hardens up. Years of this lifestyle, it catches up with you when you get older. They put you on all the meds. The meds help you stay alive in the short term, but it kills you in the long term. If you're 60 years old and you probably had a life expectancy of 80 or 90 years old or 95, or 90 plus, you're probably going to be dead at 70, or before you even get 70. To deal with the calcium in your arteries, they put you on these statin drugs. And there's some good benefits from the statin drugs. Don't get me wrong. I've researched them. I went out to FDA.gov, looked at the research on statins, but here's what they don't tell you about the statins. They tell you, it reduces your body cholesterol. It reduces your body from reducing cholesterol. Most of the cholesterol in your body produces it. They'll tell you, oh, well, that fatty steak that you eat, that saturated fat is going to kill you, going to produce cholesterol. That's not where the cholesterol comes from. That fat is good for you. That fat your body digests and uses and repairs your body with. The cholesterol that they've now come to find out that's bad for you, which is really high density, low density cholesterol that's really, it's hard to say low density, that's a higher density. But there's LDL, the cholesterol breaks down from high density to intermediate density to low density. But in the low density category, there's regular low density cholesterol, which moves fat around. So you become fat adapted. That's one of the first things the doctor's going to notice, that your total cholesterol goes up because your body's producing more LDL cholesterol to move the fat around, to move it in and out your cells for digestion. But then there's another LDL beyond that, and that's the high density LDL, which is kind of seems like a misnomer, but it's the really small high density cholesterol, and that's the bad stuff. That's the stuff that really clogs you up if you have already have cholesterol build up in your arteries and your lining of your walls. That's the stuff that hardens up on you. That's the stuff that your liver is not recycling. Because the regular LDL gets recycled by the liver. As long as your liver is doing that, you can have total cholesterol of 200, 300. That's okay. The doctor's going to tell you it's not. They're going to tell you you're going to die with numbers that high. But there are a number of cardiologists and thoracic surgeons who now are coming out saying, well, no, yeah, we got that wrong with the cholesterol numbers. It's a scare. I know there are a lot of doctors who are still old school who take that cholesterol number and put you on a statin drug to reduce it. But here's the thing they don't tell you about the statin drugs. The research now is showing that when you look at people who have Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson, other brain disorders, you know what they all have in common? They all have low cholesterol. They all have low cholesterol. 150,000 cases globally. That's not a small sample. That's not a few hundred people. That's not even a few thousand. Normally 5,000 is a huge sample to go out and do a study on and to track. No, we're talking 150,000 people over a 10-year period. And the people who are dying from these diseases, who get them and die from them, suffer from them, all without fail. It can't be a fluke when it's 150,000 plus people in the study. All have low cholesterol, under 70. So I brought this up to my cardiologist and want to put me on a statin. He was familiar with the study. He saw it in the JAMA, the Journal of American Medicine Association. He saw it. He said, well, but JR, he said, but generally you have to get to all those brain diseases and disorders only become a problem when you hit 80, 75 and 80. But we're going to reduce your cholesterol. My cholesterol is 100. Man, you crying over a cholesterol number at 100? Well, we're going to reduce your total cholesterol. We're going to bring your LDL down. You may not reach 80. So it's more important for me to get you to 80. And then when you get to 80, if you're brain dead then, oh well. But I don't want to be brain dead at 80. I want to be brain dead, period. I don't want to be walking around, don't know who I am, don't know who my loved ones are. So I'm not, I'm not going to take the statin drug. Forget it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to go with the cardiologists and the thoracic surgeons, heart surgeons, the few of them that are brave enough to come out and tell me the truth. Then I'll take their advice. Because I don't know what your motivation is. How you going to read the study, know what the information is, and then still push the statin drug on me? And you took an oath to do no harm. And so I hate to be combative when I have to deal with my doctors, but you can't just let them push you around and take their advice. They're doctors, but they don't know everything. Some of this stuff you have to manage yourself. As far as I'm concerned, I'm my healthcare manager. My care team is just supplement. I listen to them, I hear what they have to say, then I go off and research it myself. You want to give me a drug? Okay, what drug you want to give me? Okay, let me go out to FDA.gov and figure out and look at the studies on this. See if I can find some independent studies not financed by drug companies. Get the real scoop. Decide whether it's worth taking or not. And give me health markers come down. All my health markers are down. And guess what? Nobody in my health care team wants to reduce anything. I'm like, well, okay, why do I have to still take blood pressure medicine? My blood pressure in check now. I took the medicine, it wasn't in check. The medicine didn't do it. Lifestyle did it. And here's why. My wife has friends and clients and stuff in the medical industry. So I asked her to ask some of her doctor friends if they'd give her a straight answer. And they did. And the truth is, the doctors just don't trust you. They have people all the time who they give them the bad news. They're motivated to change their lifestyle. They do it for a while. They get that Bally's or 24-hour fitness membership. They go work out. They eat better. 3, 4, 5 months down the road, health markers have all gotten better, improved. And then they fall off the wagon for whatever reason. For me, I fell off the wagon because I had to start leaving the house and going to work, get on the road all the time. There's 3, 4 fast food places on every damn street. Everywhere you look at, every mile, there's at least 3 to 5 fast food places every mile, everywhere you go. They're all over the place. You smell it, you see it. But the doctors know that you're not going to maintain the healthy lifestyle. Very few can do it. This is why, and I'm going a little bit over, but this is important. So stay with me. As soon as my wife get her new practice off the ground with her partners, they come out with a whole new strategy on focusing on not just health and fitness, because there are a lot of people doing that. That's great. But balancing that with nutrition and other things that you can do to extend your life. So it's not just health and fitness for today, it's how you push out your life expectancy. I mean, they have the tests now that you can take that tell you pretty much how much longer at the current rate or where you are, how much longer you're going to live. They've got this almost down to a science. They tell you exactly when your body's going to break down from natural causes and just die, based on your lifestyle, where you are, and the medicines that you're on. They take all those markers, they run the test, and put it through the computer, the algorithms, so that person got another 8 years. They're going to die. And so this new practice is going to focus on when you get that result, whatever it is, 8 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. If you want to live beyond that, there are things you have to start doing right away and lifestyle changes you have to make and maintain it. You can't fall off the wagon. I just told you. Once you start it, you can't fall off the wagon if you want to live and maximize your life expectancy. If you want to die quickly, short term, okay. Do some, not do some, doesn't matter. But anyway, as soon as they get that practice off the ground, I'll be sharing that information with everyone. I would highly suggest that no matter where you are, if you want a holistic style, if you're on the medicines, continue to take the medicines. Consult with your doctor, but get educated on the medicines that you're taking. And slowly start working to improve your health markers and then bring down the medicines, because the medicines are slowly killing you. That's one way to extend your life, is by just reducing the amount of medicines and chemicals you put in your body. But then there's nutrition, there's exercise, not strenuous, run a marathon, swim 20 miles, do a triathlete. We're not talking about, if you did that, that's great. If you're a triathlete or you get to triathlete level, but that's 1/10 or 100%, 1% of the population of healthy people. Not all people, just healthy people. A very small group of people that can do that. For the rest of us, we need more moderate exercises. You can dance every day. I do shadow boxing. I do my little version of Tai Chi, light workout. I don't do anything strenuous. I do weight training, but nothing strenuous. I do it during my autophagy period when I know my body's releasing the growth hormone, so I get maximum use, not just protecting my muscles, but building and making stronger during that period. And I try to do a 90-10, mostly a keto diet. So I'm a 90% carnivore. So I do some sauerkraut with my vegetable because that's fermented vegetables, which is good for you. It helps your gut biome, your digestive system. There are lots of good cultures in fermented vegetables. So pickles, sauerkraut, very good for you. But if you know how to pickle stuff, because people pickle a lot of different things, and then age it, I mean, it's good for you. For me, I have jars and stuff, but I just do sauerkraut. That's my fermented vegetable. But anyway, I'll provide that information and share it with you as soon as it happens, and so you can reach out to that practice, get a consultation, and I'll even do one even better. I'll talk to my wife, and I will make arrangements so you can get that first consultation will be absolutely free. Won't cost you anything. Just use my name. Just tell me, hey, that J.R. Stewart guy sent me your way, and there won't be any fee or any consultation. I'll see if I can negotiate that with him and work it out. I'm sure I can. So I'm doing that for you guys. But anyway, we will have another show next week. I'm going to make this part of the regular lineup to do some type of health show once a week, in addition to other news and stuff. And tomorrow, we normally would do Stephen A. King, Stephen A. on Stephen A. Smith. I said King. Stephen A. Smith on Fridays, because he's always giving us some material. I think he's having another battle with The View over some meme about the Obamas. So we're going to do Stephen A. tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do UFOs. That's another topic that I'm interested in. Hopefully you're interested in also, that we're going to cover on Black Talk. And the reason we're covering UFOs, because I'm curious as to how we have gray aliens, we have the lizard folks, we have the praying mantis people, we have the tall whites, we have the Nordic. Like, wait a minute, are there no black aliens coming to visit us? Everybody's white, gray, or look like an insect, but there were no black ones. And we know black folks are the mother and father to humanity on Earth. So sure, maybe there's some black aliens out there who are the mother and father to their civilizations too. So let's talk about that tomorrow. But anyway, I'm over time by 7 minutes, so we're going to close this out. You guys all stay well, stay warm. You see, I'm warmed up tonight. It was cold last night. I think we have another cold one tonight. Stay warm if you're in a cold area. And please come back tomorrow. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share the link with everybody. If you want to use any of this content in your show, feel free. If you want to invite me onto your show, you have a podcast or a show that you do, I'll be glad to come on and be a guest on your show, or vice versa, invite you on my show to be a guest. And anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, 10 p.m. Central Time. So thank you once again.